Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Hunter and I am the Field CTO at NinjaOne. Last week on Ninja 101, we set up our PXE server, allowing us to deliver the NinjaOne operating system deployment boot image over the network. This week, we talk about how to capture and deploy an image to a device. First, we need a template image. Here I have a Windows virtual machine with a fresh copy of Windows installed. I have not installed the NinjaOne agent. This is a blank installation with no configuration. Before I can capture this image, I need to generalize this device using a utility built into Windows called Sysprep. Sysprep strips out machine-specific information like the security identifier or SID, the computer name, the activation state, and this means the image can then be deployed to multiple machines without collisions. Capturing a machine that hasn't been sysprepped will not work well for deploying to other devices, and Microsoft does not support non-sysprepped images for general deployment. On the base machine, open a command prompt as administrator and run the command that you see on screen. This is also available for copy and paste in the YouTube description. Sysprep will run for a few minutes, wait for the process to finish, and the device will automatically power off. Do not boot the device back into Windows before capturing your image, as doing so invalidates the generalized state, which means you'd have to run sysprep again before you can capture. Go ahead and power the machine back on. Since I'm using a virtual machine to demonstrate, I've set the virtual machine to boot from a network adapter. On a physical device, you may need to use F12, F10, or the escape key to start the firmware's one-time boot menu. The machine contacts the PXE server that we set up in part 1, and you'll see a prompt to press enter to continue. Do that, and it pulls the boot file from the server. Once we're in the NinjaOne operating system deployment tool, go ahead and select capture. I'm going to attach the network share that we created in the part 1 video. Test the connection to confirm that it's mounted. Give the image a name. Select the partition. Choose the save location. And click Continue. The base image is now saved as a WIM file and it's ready to be deployed. Now let's deploy that image to a brand new machine. Power it on and boot from the PXE server like we did earlier. Press enter and it picks up the same bootable media just like earlier. This time select the deploy option. Let's attach the network share. Browse to the image that we just captured. I also have options to inject drivers, install the NinjaOne agent, apply a provisioning package, and to add an answer file that helps automate past the out-of-the-box experience on Windows. Once we configure our settings, at this point the deployment can occur, and you'll need to reboot once the deployment finishes. The device will boot back up with the applied image. My intention is that this image is minimally configured because my software installations, my device configurations, my patching settings will all be managed through NinjaOne. If we go into NinjaOne and look at the policy for this device, I have an onboarding automation that runs once immediately right as the endpoint joins this policy when the agent is installed. There's a whole slew of actions running here that enable the firewall and enable BitLocker, patch the operating system, and deploy applications like Office 365 and Google Chrome. This centralizes my control over the desired state that I want my endpoints to be in. As changes to device configurations and deployments are made over time, it's much easier to implement these changes through NinjaOne when compared to the time spent reconfiguring and recapturing images. I've linked some documentation on the operating system deployment tool below. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Take care.